£40. Oh, it's got a bend on it that bolt it straight to the wall. There you go. There we are, £40 then on the way, thank you, at 40. £50, thank you. £50 then, £50 we've got. £50 bid at 50. £50 then at £50. £50 then, are we all done at 50? £50 then, £50 then, done and dusted and sold at £50. 834 is, the second Lance Bulldog, here we are. Now look at this, there you go, look at that for a machine, there you go. There, we've had it running, it drove in. We've got the video of it running, I believe. Paul's had it running. There you go. Look at that. What a machine. 1949 Lance Bulldog. If you've got a collection of tractors, surely you've got to have this in it. Look at it. Where are we going to be? You tell me. 10,000 anywhere? We'll go down a little, we'll go down to 9. I can't start much lower than 9. Somebody will come in and buy over the next week or two. You won't mark my words. Anyone want to jump in at 9,000? It's a start. It will be very provisional, but it's a start. We looks like we haven't got any tractor men this afternoon then. No? Well, it does surprise me because it's not the sort of thing you see on every street corner. And I thought we'd have a go, but if not, you'll have to have a word with the girls upstairs. I can't start any lower than 9. I don't think it would be fair on the tractor or the owner. 835 is the LNER. British Railway sign. There you go. Oh, we've got 2, LNER and a British Railway. £1,400 we've got. I'll take a 50 if it helps. But just try and get it up to 4.5 at least for the man. At 4,004 we've got. At 4,004. At 4,404, 450 in Northampton, thank you. At 4,500. At 4,005. At 4,500 we'll try for you. At 4,005 then we'll put you down at 4,550. At 4,550 and 4,600. 4,006. At £4,600, 4,650.
I think you're right there, I don't like white cars usually.
They suit white, they really suit white. 4,009, £4,900. They look quite fresh and modern in white. 4,007, 4,008, 9, 4,009.
That's yours.
4,000, oh no, 4,950 on there. 4,950, Northampton at 4,950. At 4,950. And £5,000. £5,000. We're getting there slowly. At £5,000. £5,000 then. At £5,000 we will do our very best. At 5,050. £5,050. 5,1. 5,150. 5,2. 5,2. 5,250. 5,250. Boy, you're making me work today. 5,3. 5,3 we've got. 5,3. 5,003. We're ringing every bit we can at 5,350. 5,350. 5,4. 5,4. 5,004. At £5,400 then. Are we there? At 5,004. At 5,404. 5,450. 5,450. Northampton, thank you for your bids at 5,450. Also then, Carnforth there, thank you. 5,500. 5,500. 5,500. I'm going to have to sit down in a minute, I am. 5,550 in a dark room. At 5,550. 5,550. 5,600. 5,600. We're getting there. 5,006. £5,600. 5,006. You're out, Northampton. £5,600 we've got. In Carnforth at 5,600, and we're going to pull the lever. We'll get an answer for you this afternoon, providing we can speak with the vendor. At £5,600, then Hammer's coming down. Thank you all for your bids. You've all tried very hard. At £5,600. Provisional 5,600. So Jack's just going to do 1 or 2 while I just finish my cup of tea. Thank you, Jacko. No problem. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, hang on a minute. Still on mute. There we go. Where are we then? 837, the Vespa Douglas. There we go, look. Nice little scooter there, look. There we go. One owner from new, apparently. It says here. There we go. Only done 200 miles since 2018. Been installed in a dry garage. So she may well just want a quick once over, naturally. And away you go by the looks of it. And it's sold from the off. We got £1,000 bid then and away at 1,000. Excuse me, £1,000 bid, bid of 600303, 1,000, not anymore, 1,100, £1,100 bid and 12, £1,200 bid, at £1,200 bid, £1,300 bid, selling in away at 13, 14, 14 on the internet, £1,400 bid, 15 on the internet, £1,500 bid, 1,500, 16 he says on the telephone at 16, at £1,600 bid and selling, at £1,600 bid, at 1,600 it's going to be sold, at 1,600, are you sure you're all done? 1,700, at 1,7 on the internet, would you like 18 Jack? 18 he says he does, 1,800 on the telephones at 18. 1,800 bid, internet, what are you thinking? £1,800 bid on Jack's telephone then, £1,800 is going to be sold, you're going to miss it. At 1,800 then I'm selling for the first, selling for the second, third and final time. It's gone. Lot number 838, Mercedes E63 AMG. There we go, look. Right eye full of car, that one. Lovely colour. Nice thing. There you go, you've all seen it. What we got? We've got a fair bits and pieces here, showing roughly 50,000 miles. It's the 6.3 litre engine, various invoices, bits and pieces, service book containing 9 stamps. Mick says it's lovely. There we go, fair bit of interest here with me. I've got 11, 11,250, 11,5, 11,750. 12,000, 12,250, at 12,250 bid then at the moment at 12,250, 12,250, 12,5, 12,005 down in Cornwall at 12,5, at 12,500 bid, at 12,500, at 12,750 just gone, sorry Alan, 12,750 on the internet, at 12,750 bid, 13,000 Alan on the telephone, 250 back at you down in Cornwall, 13,250 bid, at 13,250, 5 he says, 13,5, I just took Alan, 750 back online Alan, 13,750 on the internet, telephones you're out, 14 County Durham, at £14,000 bid, I can put it on sale, 250, 14,250, hell of a car, 6.3, blimey, flying machine, 14,250 bid, 14,250 in Cheshire, 14,500 back down in Cornwall, and 750, 14,750, at 14,750, would you like 15? 14,750 on the internet, he's thinking about it, 14,750, away and selling, it's sold, at 14,750, are we all done? At 14,000... No, 15,000, just gone, at 15,000, at £15,000 bid, we'll do hundreds just to open them along a little bit. I know. 15,250, 15,250. Well, hang on a minute. 15,250. At 15,250, would you like 5? 15,250 on the internet. He's going to miss it. Tell him. At 15,250. At 15,250 bid. You sure? Not a problem. 15,250 then in Cheshire. At 15,250 it's going to be sold. At 15,250 then for the first, second, third and 15,500. 15,500. At 15,500. 15,500 back down in Cornwall. 15,500. What we think in Cheshire is back in, look, 15,750. It's a lot of car this. 15,750 in Cheshire, 15,750, at 15,750 bid then, are we all done? At 15,750 for the first, selling for the second, third and final time, you're all going to miss it. 15,750 sold. Lot number 839, the oil pump, there we go, look. Hang on, where are we? Yeah, oil pump, there you go, an engineer's illuminated magnifying lamp. Oh, there you go, look. Well, £10 asking, Mick's holding it up, you see it there, look. There we go, is there £10 anywhere for the oil pump and the illuminated magnifying glass there? There we go, we have, Nottingham, thank you, £10. £10 bid then, £10 bid and away at £10. At £10, £20 bid York. At £20 bid, at £20 bid then, at £20 bid, I'm sure we'll sort a deal together. At £20 bid then in York, I'm going to sell it provisionally for the first. 20 for the second, third and final time provisionally. £20 York. Lot number 840, 1987, Lotus Elan XL. There we go, look.
Loads of history with this one, it says. Yeah, loads of bits and pieces. Come V5, owner's handbooks, 8 service stamps in the book. There we go, look. Yeah, loads of bits and pieces with it. Where are we then? I've got 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. 2,400 with me, please, Will. At 2,400, absentee bid here at 2,400. At 2,400 bid. And 5 in Stoke-on-Trent and 6. 2,600. At £2,600 bid. At 2,600 and 7. 2,007, 8, 2,800. 2,800 at 2,800 then at 2,800 in Cumbria 2,900 at 2,900 3,000 at £3,000 bid at £3,000 at £3,000 then 3,100 at 3,100 3,100. Oh, it's a lot of car. What's the crack with this? 3,200, £3,200 and in Cumbria at 32. At 3,200. At 3,200. It'll make a car, that. At 3,200 bid. At 3,200 then, are we all done? At £3,200 then. At £3,200 I can put it on sale. It's sold. I got a really sensible reserve here, guys. At £3,300 then 33. At 3,300. At £3,300 bid. At 33, 34. 34 at 3,400 at 3,400. We all done? Cumbria, you're in at 3,400. I can put the hammer down at 3,400 bid. Then I'm going to sell it at 3,400 for the first, 3,400 for the second, third and final time. It's going to be sold. 3,400 internet bid. Make a car, that. 841, the AMG Petronas Motorsport light up sign. There we go, look, loads and loads of signs is sale. Where are we then again? Usual bids here with me, 40, 50, 60, £60 bid then and away. At £60 bid, at £60 bid then, at £60 bid, 70, back in Cheshire at £70, at £70 bid, at £70, 80, £80 bid, I'm going to sell it. At £80 bid then, 90, £90 bid, at £90 bid, is there 100, fill it up, at £90 then are we all done? At £90 it's going to be sold for the first. £100 bid, Northamptonshire, 110, 110, £110 bid, at £110 bid, are we all done in Cheshire? At £110 bid, I'm out, internet you're in, at £110 bid, then I'm going to sell it for the first. 110 for the second, third and last time it's going to be sold. 110. 842 Volkswagen Golf GTI Turbo. Oh, another one, white one. Just sold a black one earlier on. There we go. Look, 1.8 Mark for very rare in white, believed to be one of 6 in the UK. Oh, blimey, there you go. Recaro interior as usual, PPS rims, all the rest of it. Electric sunroof. Owned by a neighbour from you until recently when it came to him, driven to the sale. There you go, 5 stamps in the book, various invoices, bits and pieces there. Well, I've got 6, 7, £700 bid then and away. £700 bid then, very sensible reserve by the looks of it. £800, £900 bid, at £900 bid then, quite a rare car in white, at £900 bid. Someone fill it up, £900 then for the GTI M50, £950, £1,000 bid, at £1,000 bid then, at £1,000 bid, I'm sure it'll come, we'll make a call, at £1,000 bid then are we all done, at £1,000 then I'm going to drop the hammer, 1,050, 1,100 £1,100 bid, £1,100 bid, at £1,100 bid then are we done, 1,150, 1,150, 1,200, at £1,200 bid, at £1,200 bid, one more bid, I'll put it on sale, at £1,200 bid, at £1,200 bid, then one more and I'll sell it, at £1,200 bid, at £1,200 bid, then are we all done? I'll have to mark it down provisional, at £1,200 then just to be on the safe side, at £1,200 then provisionally for the first, £1,200 for the second, third and last time selling provisionally, £1,200 provisional, I'm sure it'll come. Lot number 843, the vintage Kettler car, child's go-kart. Oh, there we go, little pedal car. There we go. Yeah, trying to get me, trying to read that off of there. There we go, little children's go-kart there, Mick's holding it up, look, there you go. Where are we then? I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds and sold and 60. 60 pound bid. At 60 pound bid then selling and away. At 60 pound bid then are we all done? At 60 pound bid then for the kids go-kart there, 70 bid on the internet, I'm out, internet you're in. 70 pound bid. At 70 pound bid then are we all done? I'm going to sell it. At 70 pounds then for the first, 70 for the second, third and final time it's going to be sold. 70 pounds. 844 1985 Alpha Spider. Oh, there we go, look. There she is, sits over there just on the left as you walk in. Bit of an unfinished project really. We haven't had it running ourselves, but it's had a fair bit of work done so far, it says here. Gearbox has been stripped and checked. Engine rebuild, rings, big end, mains, all the oil seals, valves are in cut and ground. Requires cam timing setup, brakes, master cylinder, etc, etc. Painted approximately 15 years ago. So there you go, stored in a dry insulated garage. There we go, look, so yeah, it's not been painted last week, it's freshly mellowed. There you go, we'll make a car. 24 on the internet, I've got 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, £3,000 selling and away at 3,001, 3,001, 32, at 3,200 bid, at 3,200, at 3,200, 33, 34 back at you, at £3,400 bid, your outdoor sitters here with me, at 3,000 and 5 and 6 and 7, at 3,700, at 3,708 down in Dorset at 3,800, at £3,800 bid then for the Alpha Spider. Make a car at 3,800, at £3,800. Internet you're in, I'm out, you're in Dorset at £3,800 bid and selling at 3,800, at £3,800 bid. Then are we all done? At 3,800 it's going to be sold and 939, 39, 39, 4,000 back down in Dorset at 4, at £4,000. 4,000 down in Dorset. At £4,000 bid, selling and away then at 4, at 4,000 then for the first, and 1, 4-1 back in Leeds, bit closer to home, at 4-2, back down in Dorset, 4-2, at £4,200 bid, at 4,200, at 4,200, are we all done? Are you out Leeds? At 4,000, he's not, he's back in, 4-3, 43, at 43, 44, 44, at 4,400. At £4,400 bid, then it's going to be gone. At 4,405, 45, at 45. We all know what these do when they're up and running and driving and straight out the door. So yeah, good buy for somebody here. 46, at 4,600, at 4,600 down in Dorset and 7, back in Leeds at 4,700, at £4,700 bid, at 47.48. 48 at 4,800, at 4,800 bid, at 4,800, then are we done? At 4,849, at 4,009, someone fill it up, 4,900, at 4,900 then, at 4,900, we're going to fill it up, Dorset, at 4,900, are we done? £5,000 he has, at 5, at £5,000 then, at 5,000, are we all done? At 5,000 then I'm going to drop the hammer, at 5,000 then for the first, 5-1, 5-1, 5-1, 51, at 5,100 bid, at 5,100, I'm out, internet, Leeds, 5-1, 5,100 then for the first, 5-1 for the second, it's going to be sold for the third and last time it's being sold, 51, thank you for your bids Dorset. Lot number 845, 1991 BMW 320i SE Auto. There you go, look. Service booklet containing 24 stamps. Blimey. There we go, look. I've got lots of interest here with me on my sheet. Lots of interest I see on the internet. We may as well just do a few of these Justice World. 29, 3000, 31, 32, 33, 4, 5, 6, 37 at £3,700 bid, at £3,700 bid, then in selling an 8 with Charlie, 38 on the telephone, 39 on the internet. Do you want to fill it up, Charlie? 3,900 in Derby, at 3,900, £4,000 he says at 4, at £4,000 then 4-1, 41, 41, at 4,100, at 4,100 on the internet in Derby, you're out on the telephones, 4,100 quid in Derby, 42, 42, fresh bidder, 42, at 42, 43, back at you, 43, 44, at £4,400 bid, then and away at 44. I'm selling it at 4,400, 45 in Derby at 45, 45, 6, 46. Andy on the telephone at 46, 47 back at you at £4,700 bid, at 4,700. At 4,700. Do you want a bid, Charlie? 48's the next one. 48, Andy does. At 48. At 4,800.
Yeah.
And 9. So I want to fill it up. 4,009. 4,900 in Derby. Thank him for his bids. At 4,900. Do you want 5? 5,000, he says. At £5,000 bid then for the 320i. Looks a real genuine car, this look. There you go. 51. 51 back in Derby at 5,1. At 5,1. At 5,1. Do you want 2? 5,100. I'm going to drop the hammer. 5,2, he says. 5,200. 5,200. What are you thinking, Derby? 5,200 bid. 5,3, he says. He's not messing about. At 5,300. 53. 53. At 5,300 bid. 54. Back on the telephones at 54. Nice car, they've probably both seen it. 55, 55 back on the internet. At 55,000, at 55,000, 5,500. Are you sure you're all done? You're not going to miss it for 100 quid? 55 then in Derby, 5,500, make that crystal clear on the internet in Derby. Andy, you're out on the phones, I'm out on my sheet. £5,500 and it's going to be sold at 55 then for the first, second, third and last time. 55 Derby, thank you for your bids. 846 2008 Ford Focus Z-Tech. There she is, look. Oh, a bit of police livery on there. What's all that about? Police patrol car replica in the Metropolitan Police livery. Yeah, there you go. Not too sure why that is. Anyway, a bit of a replica. There you go, look. Where are we at? We have got... Oh, we've got 12 stamps in the booklet as well. There you go, look. We have got 5, 6, 7, 750. At £750 bid and away then, please, Will, at 750. At 750 then for a cheap 5-door Focus. There we go, look what we got on the clock. 149 showing, loads of life left in them old girls, aren't they? The old turbo diesel. At £750 bid. 800, £800 bid then. £800 bid on the internet. Internet's bid, I'm out. Internet, you're in. Make that crystal clear. £800 and in Nottingham. Are we all done? At £800 bid, we'll have to make a phone call. It's provisional, but I'm sure we'll put a deal together for you, Nottingham. At £800 and I'm going to sell it provisionally for the first. 800 for the second, third and final time, selling provisionally. There you go, you're in the driving seat. 847. There we go, look. The the lady's bicycle. There we go.
Like that.
18-inch frame. Oh, that is lovely, isn't it?
Lovely little bike, that, or big bike.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, quite a big bike. There you go.
Proper quality bike.
There we go. Where are we? Sold and away then. £100 bid then and selling. At £100 bid and 10. At £110 bid. At £110 bid. 120. At 120. At £120 bid then. At £120 bid then I'm going to sell it. 130 he says. Sorry Jack. 140 back at you. 140 please with me Will. At £140 bid. 150. 150. At £150 bid then. At £150 bid then and selling. At 150. 160. 160, 70, he says, 170, at £170 bid, 180 back on the internet, you're out Jack, 180 on the internet, he's back in at 190, at £190 bid, are we filling it up internet, at £190, he's filled it up, 200, at £200 bid and 10, 210, at £210 bid and 20, at £220 bid then, at £220 bid is going to be sold, 230, £230 bid on the telephones for Jack at 230, at £230 bid, 240, at 240, nice bike, at 240, thank him for his bids at £240 and I'm going to sell it for the first, 240 for the second, third and final time it's going to be sold, 240, Jack underbidder. Oh, here we go, look, 1972 Aston Martin Vantage, there we go, look, where do we need to be on that, do we know?
I think it was about...
Right, okie dokie. There we go, I got a little bit of interest here with me. Yeah, current V5, a few bits and pieces there, invoices, photos of the work been done and so forth.
Through the workshop before use.
Yeah, general sort of run through the workshops really. There we go then. Well, a little bit low, but I got 35, 250, 35.5, at 35,500, at 35,500, 750, at 35,750, 35. Is what? Sorry. reconditioned engine, there we go, look, had a fair bit done, 36, 250, 250 and 5, 36 5, 36,500 and 750, 36 750, 36 750, 37, 37, 37 250, 37 5, that's cheap, 37 5 and 750, 37 750 and 38, at 38,000 pounds and then 250, 38 250, 38 250, 38 5, at 38 5, at 38 5 and 750, at 38,750, 39, at 39,000 pounds, at 39,000 pounds, 39 250, at 39,250 and 5, 39 5, 39 750, 39 750, at 39,750, 40,000 pounds, at 40,000 pounds then, at 40,000 pounds, that looks good value for money, at 40,000, 250, 40,250 and 5, at 40,500, 750, at 40,750, at 40,750, 41, at 41,000, 42, 41,250, at 41,250, 41,5, at 41,500 and 750, at 41,750, at 41,750, 42, at 42,000 pound bid then and away at 42 and 250, at 42 250 and 5, 42 5
making you work on this one.
I know,
I know, you should have gone up in the thousands. I know.
42 5, 42,500, 750, at 42,750 and 3, 43, at 43,000, at 43,000 and 250 and 5, 43 5, 43,500 and 750, at 43,750. I need a drink. 43,750, 44.
Oh, you went on the 250.
I know I did.
No.
It's only going by what I've got on my sheet. At 44,000 pound bid then and 250, 44 250 and 5. 44 5, at 44,500, at 44,500, 750, 44 750, at 44 750 and 5, 45, 45,000 then, at 45,000 pound bid, 45 250, 42 45 5. I'm trying to get me two together now, aren't I? 45,500, at 45,500 and 750. At 45 750 and 46, at 46,000 pounds then, at 46,000 pounds. Surely it's like 50 plus, is it?
Yeah.
I know, it's starting low.
I know. I don't know.
46,000 then, at 46,000 pound bid.
I would have scrubbed out all that lot and just started a bit higher, but it's too late now. I know.
46,000 pound then, at 46,250, at 46,250 and 5, 46 5, at 46,500, 750, 46 750, at 46,750 and 7, 47, 47, at 47,000 pound bid, 250, at 47 250, at 47 250, looks for nothing that, at 47,250, at 47 250. I don't know where I need to be, guys, that's why I started so low, but I'm going to submit the best bid.
That's all you can do, isn't
We'll
it?
have a talk, it's all I can do, at 47,250, are you sure you're all done? At 47,250, at 47,250, are you sure? At 47,250, then I'll mark it down, we'll submit it, we'll try. At 47,250 for the first. Don't miss it, 47,250 for the second. Third and final time, we'll make a phone call. 47,250, you better jump on, my voice is gone after that. Blimey. There we go.
Take them through to...
Yeah, I will. A bit of water there somewhere. Making me work for that one, aren't you?
Oh dear. I'll teach you to start too low. Yeah. If you got some really, really low bids, I just ruled them out to start with. Anyhow, 849 on Freshman Freight, here we are. 849, some plaques there by the looks of things. Drake and Fletcher, old no stock. Sill plates, oh yeah, Sill plates, there we are. Sill plates there, where are we going to be on that? You tell me, £10 we've got. At £10, £10, £10, £20 then. At £20 are we all done. At £20 then, at £20 then are we all done and dusted. At £20 then. Done and dusted and finished at 20, £30 bid. At £30 we've got. At £30 then at £30. At £30 then at 30 we have at £30. At £30 then Hammer's coming down at £30. Are we all done and dusted at £30? 850, the little Suzuki. There we are, straight away you've got 50 there, Will, and I've got 550 here. 550, £600 bid at 600, at £600 bid, 600 and 650, 650, at 657 you've got there, thank you, at 7, at £700 then at 7, I'll take a 25, 725, 750 says Andy down there, 775 I've got, £800 here, £800 we have at 800, 825 Andy's bid at 825, 825 then all done and dusted and sold at 825, 850 we've got, 850, 875 says Andy, 875, 875, Andy's bid at 875, 875 then, 875, £900 in Nottingham, 900, and 25, 925, at 925, £925 bid, Andy's bid there at 925, then Hammer's coming down at £925 and sold. And the Saab, now this is one of my favourites, look at this, is a lovely car. There we are, the Saab 900 Turbo 16 valve, I believe. There we are, convertible, what a beautiful car. There we are, very, very nice then. £4,000 we've got, thank you, £4,000 bid straight out the trap at 4, 4-1, 4-2. 4-3, 4-4 there, Will, at £4,400. At £4,400 we've got at 4,004. At £4,400, that's not a dear car. At £4,400 then at 4-4. At 4,004, that's that bid there, Will, 4,005 we've got it. At 4,005. At 4,005. At 4,500. At £4,500 we have. At £4,500 then at 4,005. At £4,500, I'll submit it for you. At £4,500. At £4,500, then we'll submit. We'll see what we get. That's a cheap Saab convertible though, and it is a turbo 16 valve. We'll do it, see what we get. £4,500 then, going under the hammer at 4,005. Provisional at 4,5. Now then the Kawasaki ER500. They are, I think, they're probably one of the most popular commuter bikes, I think, of all time, these are. £650 we've got there at 650. At £650 then, look how cheap that is. At £650 then, at 650 for the Kawasaki then at 650. At £650 bid. At 650 then, Hammer's going down at 650. At £650 then, provisionally sold then at £650, cheap little commuter bike. Provisional at 650. And we've got a bit of a lucky dip there. There we go, look. Jaguar models and books, big selection there, £80 and sold straight away, £80 we've got, 80, 90, £100 bid, at £100 then I'm going to sell at 100, at £100 then, at £100 then, Hammer's coming down, we're going to sell them at £100, they're going to go. They've gone, £100. 854 is the Citroen ZX Azura Diesel. I had one of these years ago. Brilliant little car. Brilliant little car. There you are. Little 1.9D, I think it was from memory. There you go then. Go forever. Where are we then? £400. I don't blame you. 400, 5, 6, 7 and 8 on the internet there at 8. £800. I'll take a 50 if it helps. 800 we've got. At £800 then. £800 then. Are we there at 800? £800 bid. 800 we've got. £800 then. We'll submit it. At £800, we'll submit that then at £800 for the first, second, third and last time. 855 is the old Irish pub sign. Again, £100 on the way, thank you. £100, 110, 120. 120, 130, 130 we have. At £130. At £130 then we've got a 130. At 130 then. £130 then the hammer's going to come down at 130 for the first, second, third and last time. 140 we've got. 140. 140 then we've got 140. At 140 then at 140. £140 then. Are we all done then at 140 then? Provisional at £140. 856, the 1954 Velo. Look at this, what a pretty bike. What a pretty bike, and look at the money. Look at the guide on this bike, ladies and gentlemen. Look, the Velo there, look at it, she's lovely. She's a work of art, she's lovely, look at her. 2,500, oh, it's a start. 2.5, I know. You know, it wants going in the showroom, that. 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, £3,000 we've got, £3,000, it's a picture, look at it. At 3,000 then, at 3,001, 3.2, £3,200, what a machine. At 3,200, she's lovely, look at that. What a lovely, lovely machine. I'll take a 50 anywhere if it helps. Look at that, what a lovely, pretty bike, look at it. Are we all done then at 3,002 then at 3.2? I don't think I dare set it at that. We need a bit more than that. It's worth more than that. I know these bikes are on the floor. I keep saying it, but hang on a minute. And then we've got a selection of clothing and bits. Well, you can see what it is there in the helmet. There we are. We have got £70 bid, £80 and £90 we've got. At £90 then, at £90 and £90 and down and away at 90 I'm going to sell. At £90 then on sale and sold at 90. Are we all there? At £90 then on sale and gone at £90. And moving on to 858 is the Aston camper. There we are, the Aston camper. Bids here with me. I've got 86, 87, 88, 89. I've got £9,000 on that screen there at 9,000. Excuse me, at £9,000 I've got. At 9,001. At £9,100 I have. At £9,100 at 91. At £9,100 at 91. At £9,100 then. London bid at £9,100. We'll try for you. I'm sure it'll come. I think it will. At 9,001. Alan's got 9.2 though. Sorry, London. Alan's got 9.2 down there on the phones at 9.2. At 9,200. At £9,200 we've got. Alan's bid 9,002. Provisional, Alan, but I'm sure it'll come. At 9,200 then. Are we all done and dusted at £9,200? It's on Alan's phone. Provisional 9.2 Alan, but it will come. New old stock Sill plates we've got here. More Sill plates. Look, there you are. Anybody want to have a go at 20 anywhere? I think the last lot made 40. Do you want £20 anyone? If not, we'll have to move on. Anyone want to jump in? If not, we'll move on, and move on we will. At 860 is the Triumph. Here we are. Nice machine that. I like them in a bit different colours. I like them that. There we are. We have got a number of bids here, Will. We've got 2, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, and I've got 2-5 flashing on that screen there. 2-5, 2-6, 2-7, 2007, £2,700 and sold. At £2,700 I'm going to sell it. At £2,700 it's on sale and sold. It's going to go at £2,700. Are we all done? At 2007, 2-8, 2008, 2-9, 2009, fresh bid at 2-9. At £2,900. At £2,900 I'm going to pull the lever at 2.9. Are you sure? We're all done then. £2,900 then. Are we all done and dusted at 29? Sold. 861 is a sign with a bit of patina on it. That's for sort of Oakleigh Park sign. There we are then. Look at that. I know it's a bit like out of whack, isn't it? There you go then. £10 then. Thank you. £10, £20 we've got. £20 then at 20. At £20 then are we all done. £30 then at 30. At £30 bid. £30, £40 then at 40. £45, £50 bid at 50. At £50 it's on sale. I'm going to sell it. At £50 it's going to go. £55. At £55 then it's going to go at 55. At £55 then Hammer's coming down at 55 and £60. At £60 then are we all done at 60. At £60 then. £60 then we're going to pull the lever at 65. At £65. At 65 then. £65 then are we all done at 65. Sold. 862 is the little Phantom. There we are. Sold. £90 and sold. £900 even. Sorry, get me words right. At £900 it's sold at 900. Then we're going to sell at 900. £950 bid at 950. At £950, £1,000 we've got. £1,000. Is that a bid, Andy? £1,000 and 50. 1,050 says Andy. 1,100 says Jack. £1,100 bid. 1,100. £1,100 then are we all there at 11. £1,100 then we're going to sell it. £1,100 then. 1150, 1150 says Andy, 1150, 1150, £1,200 says Jack, £1,200, 1,200, thank you for letting me know at 1,200 then. Jack's telephone bidder at £1,200, off it goes at £1,200 to Jack. Sold, 1,200, 863, selection of car badges there, bit of lucky dip, bit of all sorts, there we go, who's going to start me then, £30 anywhere? Anyone start me at 30? Can't start any lower than 30, £30 I think we've got coming. Yeah. There we are, £30 then. Very provisional at £30, but thank you for your bids at 30. 30, £40 we've got. At 40. At £40. At £40 then that takes care of a couple of badges, doesn't it really? What about the rest? At £40 we've got. At £40 then. At £40 we have at 40. At £40 then. £40 then. 40, £45. At 45 we have at 45. £50 then at 50. At £50 then, £50 then, £50 we'll put you down provisional at £50. Are you all out at 50? At £50 then we're going to draw the lever at £50. Provisional 864, another lovely bike, the AJS, there we are then, look at it. Look how bright that bike looks. A lovely bright bike. £2,000 we've got. At £2,000, thank you, at 221, at 21, 2200, then at 2002, at 2200. At £2,200 then, at 2002 and 323, 2003, at £2,300 provisional at 23, at £2,300 in Cheshire at 23, at 2,300, at £2,300 then are we there at 2003 for the first, 2-3 for the second, third and last time at 23, provisional at 23, and 865. Selection of motorcycle products, it says there, a bit of all sorts, all proceeds to charity from John at Electra Diesel just across the road here. Smashing that is John. All proceeds to charity, he's saying there. There you go then. Got £30 bid. £30 we've got. At £30 we've got at 30. At £30 then. At £30 then are we all done at 30. At £30 going. All proceeds to charity. You don't pay any fees. All that you bid goes straight to the charity. At £30 then are we all done. At £30 then going once, twice, third and last time at £30. Sold. 866, another lovely AJS. Look, let's start again at 2,000, shall we? At £2,000, look, they're for nothing. At £2,000 then, at £2,000, are we all done at 2,000? At £2,000, at 2,001, £2,100 then at 21, at 21. At £2,100, at 21 then, at £2,100 then, and 2001, that's provisional at 21, at 2001, provisional then at £2,100, we'll put you down then at £2,100, but it is provisional at 21, and on the subject of provisionals, we've got a couple of solds there, 685, the Guinness sign was provisional, that's now been sold, 635, the snap-on clock, was provisional now. Sold. 790, the Golf GTI was provisional and now sold. Thank you very much. Right, the Royal Daylight Pratt's Paraffin sign. There you go then, £100 straight out the trap and sold at £100. At £100 then, at £100 we've got. At 100 then, at £100 are we all done at 100. At £100 then, Hammer's going to drop then at £100 are we all done and dusted at 110. £110, 110, at 110. 110 we have at 110. £110 then at 110. 110 going once, twice, third and last time, going to be sold at 110. 868, the Mazda MX-5. Here we are, another little MX-5, little cutie. There we go. Where we're going to be, £400 anywhere. Someone start me. Someone start me at £400. It's going to break for that, surely. Someone start me at 4. I'm not starting any lower. It'll go in the timed auction. It'll make more. If not, £400 we've got. £400 on the way at £400 bid. At 400 then. At £400 are we all there at £400? At £400 then. Hammer's going to drop down at 400 and are we all done? That's provisional at 400. For nothing. 869 is the Saab 93 Vector Sport TID, this one. There you go, TID. We've got lots of interest here. We have got 3, 3-1, 3-2, 3-4, 3-5, 3-6, 3-7, 3-8, 3-9, 4,000, 4-1, 4-2, at £4,200. I'm going to sell it at £4,200 then. At £4,200, it's on sale, it's going to go. 4-3, 4-4 I've got. 4,004, internet bid at 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, £4,600. At 4,006, internet bid at 4,006. You're out, Alan. At 4,006, internet bid 4,007. You're only just in at £4,700. At £4,700 we've got. At 4,007. At £4,700 then. At £4,700. It's your bid, Alan. You're only just in by a little smidgy. At £4,700, we're going to drop the hammer at £4,700. Alan's bid sold. 870, the Triumph T150. Wow, look at this for a bike. Look at this for a bike. Honestly, I know I keep saying it, but I just can't get over how cheap some of these bikes are. We've got interest on my books here, Will. I've got interest below and I've got interest above, but we might as well start at that figure there at 4-1. £4,100, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3 on my sheet here at £4,300, at 4,003. I'm going to sell it at £4,300. It's on sale, it's going to go at 4-3. At £4,300 then, at 4,300 we've got. At 4,003, £4,300 for the first, second, third and last time at 43. It's going to go. It's sold. 871 is the BMW Z3. Nice colour, unusual colour. There you go then. Where are we going to be on that? Bit of summer fun. Who's going to start me at 2,000? Someone start me at £2,000. Surely it's a couple of £1,000 for a good old Z3. There we are. Where are we going to be? 7 anywhere? 7. I'll take that 17. Will 17. £1,800 bid. 18, 19. At 19 we have at 19. At 19. That's a cheap little Z3 at 19. At £1,900 then. At £1,900 are we all done? At 19 I'll take the 50. 1950 I see. At 1950. At 1950, at 1950, then are we all finished at 1950? At 1950, at £1,950 then at 1950, are we all done? At 1950, at 1950 then, at 1950, 1950 then are we all done? At 1950 then are we all done and dusted? At 1950 going once, 1950 twice, third and last time, 872, the Mercedes 350 SL. How cheap is this? Look at that. £2,000 there straight away. How sensible is that? £2,000, 21, 22, 23, 24, at £2,400, at 2004. 2004, that must be the buy of the day, surely. 2004 for the big Mercedes SL, £2,500, 2005, 2,500, £2,500, at £2,500. £2,500 for that. Look at that. At 2,500 quid. I'm going to sell it at £2,500. At 2,500 then I'm going to sell. 2,006. £2,600. At 2,006. At 2,600.
I looked at this car earlier and it is lovely.
Nice little car, isn't it? Or big car. 2,600 for that model of SL. £2,600. At 2,600 then, at £2,600 then, at 2,600. At 2,006 and I'm going to pull the lever, I can't believe this. At £2,600 then, all done and dusted. At 26 it's going to go, it's off to York. Almost, it's going to Staffordshire now. At 2,007. At £2,700. At £2,700. 2,700 then are we there at 2,007, off to Staffordshire at £2,700 then. I'll take a 50 anywhere if it helps. Failing that, it's off to Staffordshire at £2,700 for the first. 2,750, 2,750, 2,800, 2,008, fresh bidder. 2,008, 2,008, £2,800 fresh bid. 2,008, 50, 2,850. 2,850, back in Stafford, 2,850. 2,850 then, Hammer's coming down at 2,850, off it goes at £2,850. 2,9. 2,9. 2,009 at 2,900. £2,900 at 2,009 then, Hammer's coming down at 2,900 for the first, for the second, 2,950. 2,950. At 2,950, 2,950. Still a damn cheap car. At 2,950 then, back in Staffordshire again. You're back in again, mate, good lad. Oh, you're out again. At £3,000. At £3,000. £3,000 then we've got at 3,000. £3,000. £3,000. I'm going to have to pull the lever at £3,000. 3,050. Who's Staffordshire? He's trying hard in Staffordshire.
This is Kevin.
Kevin, you're trying hard there, mate. Hat off to you. £3,050 we've got. At 3,050 then, I'm going to pull the lever. At £3,050, the hammer's coming down, be warned. Sold. You got it, mate. In the end, 873 is a little Polo that's been wrapped. Look at that, it's a fancy little thing, isn't it? The wrapped Polo. Who wants to start me at 1,000? Start me at £1,000 and we'll move on. Start me at 1,000, if not, it'll have to go in the timed auction. Anyone want to start me at 1,000? Can't start much lower. I'll start, just so it sounds better, I'll start. I was going to say I'll start at 900 if it sounds a bit better. £1,000, it's still provisional Hartlepool, obviously at £1,000. At £1,000 then, at £1,000 we'll put you down to be cheap enough if it comes. At £1,000 we've got. At £1,000 then, provisional bid then from Hartlepool at £1,000. We'll put you down on paper, we'll see what they say. At £1,000 then off we go at £1,000. Provisional at 1,000. 874 is the 1960 BSA. Again, dead sensible on the money. Look Dead sensible. Let's start at £2,000, and they all seem to start at £2,000 today. Let's start at £2,000. 2,000, thank you, at £2,000. At £2,000, then at £2,000 and away. At £2,000, at £2,000, and are we done at 21? At 2,001, at 2,100 then, at 2,100 then, are we all done at 2,001? At £2,100, at £2,100 for the first, second, third and last time. Very provisional at 2-1. On the subject of provisionals, 737, the brass plaques have been sold. 807, the Kawasaki has been sold. 739, the Guinness sign has been sold. 783, the BSA Bantam sign sold. 801, the Yamaha Racing sign sold. 819, the McLaren light up box sign has been sold. 821, the vintage style lamp has also been sold. There you go. We do convert over 90% of these provisionals. There you go. And we have got 875, the automobile frame photos. £90 away, £90 and £100 we've got. At £100 then, at £100 bid, at £100 then, at £100 we have. At £100 then, at £100 are we all done. At £100 then, hammers coming down. At £100 then, are we all done and dusted. At £100. £100. Moving on to 876 is another lovely machine. A lovely machine again, the Triumph. Here we go, from the same stable as those other lovely bikes. An absolute picture, look at it there. We've got a bid straight out of the traps of 26, but it is provisional at 2,600. At £2,600 we've got. At £2,600 then, at 2,600. 2,600 for nothing, at 2,600. At £2,600. At £2,600 are we all there at 2,600? At £2,600 then, we'll put you down then, bidder number 600349. We'll try for you at £2,600, though it is very provisional. And moving on to selection of signs, tin toys and model bicycle. There you go then. There you are, bit of all sorts there. Where are we going to be? £10, thank you, and away. £10, £20, we've got £20 bid. At £20 then, at 20 then, at £20 then, are we going to sell them? At £20 then, thank you ever so much. At £30 they're going to be sold. At £30 then they're going. At £30 then, hammers coming down, they're going to go at £30. They've gone. And moving on to 878. Ah, one of my old favourites. I love me Volvos, don't I? I do love me Volvos, and this is one of my old favourites as well. She's an on-runner. She's been standing for 6 years. The fuel's gone off. Yeah, there won't be a lot to get it going again, will there? Michael's saying no. Yeah. A right genuine old car, innit? She's a right genuine old girl, bless her. There you go then. Where are we going to be then? £1,000, I bet. At £1,011, £1,200. At £1,200 and at 1,200, 12 and 13. £1,300 I've got. 13, 14, 15 I've got. At 15. At 15, 15, 15. At 15, 15. 16, 16. At £1,600 we have. At £1,600 and at 16. At 16, 17. At £1,700 I've got. £1,800 bid, 18, £1,800, £1,800 and at 18, £1,800, 19, worth every penny. 1,800, 19, £2,000 we have at 2-1. 2001, she's on sale, she's going. Very, very sensibly guided and reserved at 2001. 2001, 22, at 22, at £2,200 we have, at 22, at 22, 23, at 23, then at 23, 24 says Al, at 24, at 24, 25, anywhere, 25 yeah in York, thank you very much York at 25, at 25 then, at 25 then at 25, at 25 we got Sooty at 26, York at 27, 27 we have at 27, at £2,700 then, you're out Alan, you're back in at 28, £2,800 we've got, 28 on the phones at 28, on the phones at £2,800 then, Sooty's bid, oh no you're out Soot, York's in, 29, 2009, he's back in at 3 he says, £3,000, at £3,000, 3-1 says York, pushing you all the way out, 3,001. In York, are we all done then? It's off to York then at £3,100 then. Are we all 3-2, 3-2, £3,200. York, you're out. Do you want another one? You might as well. You've come this far. Good lad. 3,003, £3,300 then. Hammer's going to drop down. Oh, 3-4. It's a bit sharper now. 3,004, 3,004, 3,400, 3,004, 3-4 we've got. 3-5, you might as well round it up. 3-5 sounds better than 3-4, York. Good man. 3,500. At 3,500 pound. Oh, he's back in again. 3,006. 3,006. 3,6. Do you want a 50? 3,006 I've got. 3,006. At 3,600 pound then. And 50. 3,650 at York. 3,7 he's telling me. 3,7. 3,7. 3,7 we have at 3,7. 3,7 on the phones. 3,007, it's a phone bid at the moment. You're out York, but thank you ever so much for your bids. At 3,700 pound, are we all done? At 3,700 pound, it's going to be Alan's telephone bid with York coming in second place. At 3,700 pounds, York's in at 3,750. 3,750. 3,750 then. 3,8 he says on the phones at 3,8. 3,800 pound on the phone at 3,8. 3,800 pound at 3,008 for the first. 3,800 for the second. Third and last time at 3,800 pounds. Going to the telephone bidder. 3,800. Thank you, York, for your bids. You were trying hard there. Thank you very much. We've got what looks to be a very bright MGB that looks nice, doesn't she? Chrome bumpers, she's got some alloys on there. Looks nice in black. Nice looking car. Obviously, I'm not the only one who thinks it looks a bonny car because look at the bids we've got coming in here. There we are. I might as well skip all these other bids, Will, and go straight to 5,006. At 5,600 pound we've got. At 5,600. At 5,600 pound on sale. At 5,700 pound and sold. At 5,708, 5,008. At 5,800 pound I'm going to sell. At 5,800 and 5,900. 5,009 and 6,000 pound. At 6,000 pound then. Off and gone and away at 6,000 pound. Are we all done then? At 6,100. 6,001. 6,001 and 2. 6,200. 6,002. 6,200 pound. At 6,200 then. Hammer's coming down then. At 6,200 pound. Be warned, it's going to go. At 6,200 pound for the first, second, third and last time. Oh, I didn't rush it, Will. I didn't rush it. 888 is the next one. Sorry there. It went to the Isle of Arran, I think, from memory. There we are, lot number 8. I don't feel for a moment I rushed that one. 880, here we are. 880 then. We've got the little Suzuki here. We've got 350, we've got 4, we've got 450, we've got 5 there, Will. We've got 550, we've got 6. At 600 pound and sold. At 600 pound and sold at 600. At 600 pound then it's going to be sold. At 600 pound then it's going. Off it goes there at 600 pound. Are we all done and dusted at 600 pounds? Sold at 600. And 881 is the MG grille of all things. There we are. £40 bid straight away then at 40, £50 we've got. At £50 then. At £50 then are we all in at 50? Off it goes up to red car then at 50, 60, £70. At £70 we have. At 70. At £70 then. At £70 then are we all done at 70? At £70 going once, twice. Third and last time at £70. Sold. 882 is another lovely bike again, same stable as some of the others there, the 1967 Triumph. We all seem to be starting at around £2,000, don't we? So let's start at 2 again. Anyone going to jump in at 2? £2,000. £2,000, thank you. At £2,000 we've got in Bedfordshire. Good afternoon, Sandy. At £2,000 it's the start. At £2,000 it's very provisional, Sandy, though, obviously. At £2,000. At £2,000 then. At £2,000 and 21. At 21 then. At £2,100 we've got. At 21 then. At £2,100 at 21. At £2,100 then. At 2001. 2001 at £2,100. At 2,100 then, at £2,100 at 21, at 2001, that's provisional then at £2,100. Hammer's coming down at 21. Provisional. 883, limited edition, 3rd scale, or 1 13th scale, vintage cars and style. There we go then. Again, who's going to start me? £10 somewhere. Anyone's going to start me at tenner. £10 bad, thank you. £10, £20 I have at 20. At £20 then at £20, thank you. At £20 bid we've got. At £20 bid. At £20, £20 is you with at 20. At £20 we've got. £20 then at £20. At £20 bid. At £20 then are we all done and dusted at £20. Provisional. 884. Again, same stable, lovely machine. Look at it. 1971 Triumph. We're starting a little bit higher than 2,000 on this one. We've got a bid there at 28. 2008. At £2,800 we've got. At 2008. At £2,800 for the Triumph at 28. At £2,800 we have. At 2,800. At £2,800 then. At 2,800 then. It's a provisional sale at £2,800. And on the subject of provisional, 758, the Fiesta XR2, that has been sold. And 817, the MG Midget, has been sold. 827, the little Austin 7, has been sold. Number 836, the lovely bright white Porsche 944, has been sold. 842, the VW Golf GTI, has been sold. At number 740, the Triumph Herald, remember that from earlier on? Lovely little car. That's found a new home and been sold. 846, the Ford Focus, that's been sold. At number 851, the Saab 900, that's also been sold. And at number 849, the Sill plates, they have also found a new home. They have sold. There we go. And lot number 885 is the Mini 1 rear lights and front and rear surrounds. There we go. £30 out the drops and sold. At £30, then they're going to go at £30. At £30, then they're off at £30. At £30, then they're going to go at 30. At £30 off they go at £30, then away and away. At £30 they're going to go. Sold. 886 is the Ford Capri 1300 XL. Here we are, lovely bit of information there supplied by Roger. Thank you ever so much. Quite unusual being a little 1300. There you go, tells you all about it there. Lovely little car. Where we're going to be, you tell me who's going to start me at 10. Anyone going to start me at £10,000? Make a start at 10. We all know what these Capris are achieving. Anyone making a start at 10? Anyone then? 10,000 anywhere? I can't start any lower than 10. Anyone want to step in at £10,000? It's a start. If not, you'll have to have a word with the team upstairs in the office, see what can be done. Nice little car that. Have a word with the girls upstairs. 887 in the meantime is a Vauxhall printing blocks in 1949 newspaper. Oh, there we are, bit of a funny old job there. There you go then. Where are we going to be on that? You tell me. £10, £20, thank you at 20. At £20 then are we all done at 20? At £20 then. At £20 then. Hammer's coming down at £20. Are we all done? And 888. Oh, the little tractor. Here we are then. There you go, little tractor with rotavator. There we go then. Starts and runs and drives, and there we go. Where are we going to be on that? Who's going to start me? £1,000 and away, thank you, £1,000. £1,000, that's a handy little machine, isn't it? £1,000 we've got, with rotavator as well. That'll paint up nice, that, won't it? £1,000 we've got, £1,000, £1,000 we have, £1,000 for the little tractor. The rotavator can come off, obviously, then you've got yourself a little garden tractor. £1,000 then, £1,100, thank you, 11. £1,100, 11 and 1,200 then at 12. At £1,200 are we all done? At £1,200 then, at £1,200 then, at 1,200. At £1,200 then, thank you for your bids at 12. At £1,200 then, £1,200 are we all done and dusted at 1,200. 889 is the Rover grille. There we are, bid straight out of the box then, £50 on the screen there, Will, and £60 I've got. £60 I have here at £60. At £60 we're going to sell. At £60 off they go, they're going to sell at £60. At £60 then they're going to sell at 60. At £60 then, off she goes at £60. Hammer's coming down at £60. Sold. 890, the Volvo. Oh, this is a dream car. Isn't it, John? John and I have spent a bit of time around this car, and we're both Volvo fans, and you cannot fail to be impressed with this car. She's lovely. I know you don't have to do any of this, Michael. I know what all this means. Don't start all that. I know where you're going with this. She's lovely. And obviously there's a few people on my sheet here that also think it's lovely. There you go. The type of car that's going to go into another long-term ownership, so it's your opportunity to buy now. Chances are it will go into another 10, 15, 20-year ownership. It's that type of car. Anyhow, I shall just refresh my page and I shall carry on. We have got £8,000 bid there, Will. £8,000 we've got. 8,002, 82, 84, 86, 88. 8,008, £9,000 I've got at 9,000, 92, 94, 94 I've got, 9,004, at 9,400 £, I'm going to sell at 94, 9,004, it's on sale, it's going to go, 9,004, 5, 95, 95, 96, 96, 97, £9,700 at 9,700. At 9,700, 9,700, 9,800 in the internet there at 9,008, 9,800. Step in at any time, Alan, if you want to bid. 9,008, 9,800, 9,008, 9,900 we've got, 9,900, £9,900 we have. Who's going to round it up to 10? We've got 9,900. Got 9,900. Are you bidding now? Are you bidding? Hang up then. Might as well. Oh yeah. At 9,900. At 9,900. At £9,900. At 9,900. At £9,900 we've got. 9,900. At £9,900. 9,900. At £9,900. Are we all done at 9,900? I'm going to sell at 9,009. That's the way, Alan. 9,009. That's it. Get them off, man. 9,009. At 9,009. Oxygen thieves here. At £9,900. Then are we all done at 9,900? At £9,900 I'm going to sell. At £9,900 is a beauty. I would say probably the best in the UK, I would think. It's a strong statement to make, but it's that impressive. At £9,900, Hammer's coming down at 99, £10,000. £10,000.
You and you, love.
£10,000. At £10,000, oh no, psychic, not septic, psychic. At £10,000. At £10,000 we've got. £10,000. At £10,000 we have at 10,000. However, 10,001 on my sheet. At £10,100 on my sheet. At 10,001 on my sheet. At £10,100 I've got. At 10,001 on my sheet. Bidder number 6000338. There you go. £10,100. 10,001. Giving you a moment. If not, I'm going to pull the lever. It's off at £10,100. Are we all done and dusted? Internet's out, phone you're out. Alan's on the phone again. You've got someone else on the phone now. We've been on it that long. Alan's got somebody else on the phone now. At £10,100. And are we all done at 10,100? Sold at 10,100. Well done. What a lovely, lovely car. You'll be over the moon with that. 891. Clean up your act. There we are. Clean up your act sign. There you are. Where we're going to be, who's going to start me at a 10 or anywhere? If not, we'll move on. I think there's 3 signs there, Michael. At £10 we've got £10 bid. At £10 we've got £20 and away at 30. At £30 then. At £30 they're wanting that Castrol sign. That's the nice one. At £30 then. At £30 are we all done and dusted? At £30 Hammer's coming down. There you go. And one of my favourites is just out of camera shot, but I think, Jake, you might better get on that. Look.
It's a different one.
Oh, is it a different one? Ah, Jake, don't panic. It's a different one. Hang on. Yeah, we've got 2 S2000s in. This one's in your build. This one's in your building. Hard top and soft top, says Michael. That's lovely. Well done. Hard top and soft top, says Michael. Current owner for 3 years. There you go. Lovely. These are fantastic, these little cars. Where are we going to be on that? You tell me. Who's going to start me? 8,000, I bet. £8,000, 8,500, 8,500 and 9. £9,000 we've got. At £9,000 then at 9. At £9,000. It's got the hard top and the soft top. At £9,000. At £9,000 then. Sort of the ultimate touring car, really, aren't they? The ultimate soft top car. At £9,250. The ultimate all-rounder. Bit of track day, bit of touring, bit of out on a Sunday. Tick, tick, tick. Does all the bits. £9,250. Ticks all the boxes. At £9,250 we'll submit it. At £9,250. At £9,295.95. At £9,500. At £9,500 we've got a 9,750. 9,750. At 9,750. I always promise myself one. I've never got round to having one. At 9,750. You can finish off the last 5, Jacko. Here, don't rush off. At 9,750. At 9,750. At 9,750. I'll do a couple more and you can finish off. At £9,750. At 9,750 and £10,000 are we all done? At £10,000 then, we're all there at 10 1/4. At 10 1/4 then at 10,500. At 10,500 and 10,750. At £10,750. At 10,750. Hammer's coming down. At 10,700 and £11,000. 11,000 we've got. £11,000 then. 11,250. 11,250. 11,250. 11,250 then. Are we all done at 11,250? £250, are we all done? 11,250, we'll submit it. There'll be a deal done, I'm sure. 11,250. I tell you what I will do, Will, which I haven't done, is allow someone the extra 100. I should have gone the extra 100, and I've got all excited with myself. So 11,250. I'm sorry, I don't wish to make things difficult, but if we had a bit of an audience, someone would have probably shouted out 100. And I apologise, I should have dropped down to 100 before. 11,250 is where we stand at the moment, though. 11,250, keeping it super fair. 11,250 for the first, second, third, and last time. There we are, provisionally 11,250. Now Jack's just going to finish off the last handful. And that's us done, I think.
Nearly there. You haven't done these solds yet, no?
No, they're to do.
No, they're to do. Right then, just before we finish off, ladies and gentlemen, 852, the 1997 Kawasaki ER500. That's been sold. 829, the Rolex clock. Sold. 818, the Ford. 841, the AMG sign. 855, the Irish pub sign. And 854, the little Citroen ZX. Sold. There we go, look. 893, moving on to the Hornby tin clockwork train set. There we go, look. Let me just refresh my other screen. There we go, Mick's holding it up. Oh, a little bit there, look. There you go. Training carriages and a bit of spare rail. There we go, look. 10, 20, 30, £40 then and sold at £40, selling and going. At £40 bid then, selling and going. At £40 bid then, are we all done? At £40 bid then, bids here with me at £40. At £40 bid, then selling for the first, 40 for the second, third and final time it's being sold. £40. Oh, 894. Moving on to the 2005 BMW 330ci Sport. There she is, look. Two-owner car, garaged all of its life, documented 30,000 miles. The car is complete with all the original documentation, tools, original equipment in the boot and so forth. You name it, factory M Sport, multi-function steering wheel, all the rest of it, you name it, it's got it. There we go, look. Full BMW owner's pack with all the supplements. There we go, look. Yeah, really unique E46. There we go. Yeah, garage continuously over nearly 21 years in existence. There we are, look. Nice looking car. You've all seen it. I've got lots of bids here with me on my sheet. I've seen bids on the internet there. So that's me wiped out. We've got 8, 8,250, 8,5, 8,750, 9,000 bid on the internet there at 9. £9,000 bid then, internet bid at 9,000, it's going, it's sold at £9,000 bid, and 9-1 just on the internet, sorry Alan, at 9,100, and 2, 9-2, just gone, 9-2, at £9,200 bid, at £9,200 bid, and 3, 9-3, 9-4 in Cumbria at 9-4, at £9,400 bid then, and 5, sorry Jack, we're doing it at the same time, 9-5, in Cheshire, 9-5, 6 is gone, do you want 7? 9-6, at 96, 97 on the internet, 98, 10,000, was that a 10? 9-9, sorry, 9-9, 9-8, 9-9 with Jack, at 99 with Jack, 10,000 in Cheshire, at £10,000 bid, at £10,000 bid, then sold and away and 1, 10-1, at 10-1, at 10-1, 10-2, 10-2, at £10,200 bid in Cheshire and 3, 10-3 on the phones here with us at 10-3. 10,003, 10,4, 10,004, at 10,405, 10,005, nice car, 10,500 on the telephones here with us with Jack, at 10,500, 10,6, Cumbria's back in at 10,6, at 10,600 bid, and 7, on the phones with Jack at 10,7, at £10,700. Selling and going, 10,007 on the telephones, internet you're out, you're back in at 10.8, 10,800, at £10,800 bid, at 10.8 then do you want 9, 9 they do, Cumbria you're in at 10.9, do you want to fill it up Jack? 10,900, £11,000 he says, £11,000 bid, proper car, £11,000 then on the telephone, selling and away at 11 and 1, 11,100. 2 he says, 11,002, 11,200 on Jack's telephone, 11,2, what we thinking internet, 11,200 on the telephones here with Jack then, I'll bring the hammer down at 11,200 for the first, and 3, 11,3 back in Cumbria at 11,3, 11,300 Cumbria, 11,4 back on the phones, 11,400 bid, 11,400. Jack's telephone, make that crystal clear. Internet, you're out. I'm out. Jack on the telephone, 11,400. At 11,400 then for the first. And 5, 6, 11,600. 11,600. 11,600. Who's in Cumbria, Will? Do you know? I won't say yet, will it? Until it pops up again, let me know. 11,600. Cumbria, you're out. Jack, you're in on the telephones then. 11,607.
That's Ian.
Ian?
Yeah.
Ian, 11,700. Not anymore. 11,800 with Jack. Ian, you're out. 11,800 on the telephones then here with us. At £11,800 bid. And selling and going. 11,800. You're going to miss it, Ian. You know he's not. 11,900. 12. Two good bidders, £12,000. At 12,000 back on the telephones at 12. At £12,000 bid. At 12,000 then for the first. 12,000 for the second, giving you plenty of time, Ian. 12,000 then third and final time on the 12,1 and 2. 12,2. At 12,200 bid. At 12,200 bid then are we all done? At 12,200. 12,200 then it's going for the first, 12,200 for the second, third and final time, you're going to miss it, 12,300. 12,304 he says, straight back at you Ian, at 12,400. At £12,400 bid then I'm going to have to drop the hammer, at 12,400 for the first, for the second, third and final time it's going to be sold, 12,400, thank you very much for your bids Ian. Well done, Jack. 895, Vintage Andrews, Big H, Ray remote control plane. Oh, there you go, look. Oh, sits on the back of that lorry there, look, that Scania. There we go, look. RC plane. Don't quite know what little engine it's got in it there, but she's got one. There you go. Might just want to service up and a once over and away you go. Where are we then? Asking £10. There's a £10 to start for the little plane. £10 bid, thank you, £10. £10 bid. At £10 bid then. At £10 bid. You won't want to make it for that. At £10 bid. At £10 bid then are we all done at £10, £20, Newark, £20 bid in Newark, at £20 bid, at £20 bid, then are we all done? I'll mark it down provisional, £30 bid, Lincolnshire 30, thank you, at £30 bid then, at £30 bid, at £30 bid, then are we all done at £30, at 30 then for the first, provisionally for the second, third and final time, £30 provisional. 896, oh, nice bright looking little car, just sits down there behind the Mini there, the little Lotus Elan look, there we go. S3 convertible she is, in the gold leaf colours, black interior trim, and if you're a Lotus purist, obviously the car's not for him because it's fitted with a...
Ford Z-Tech.
Is it Z-Tech? Z-Tech, Duratech, Z-Tech? Oh, there we go, yeah, Ford Z-Tech engine, there you go, look, there we go. So starts up straight away immediately, sounds up to sweet, on twin Weber 40s, 5-speed, gearbox, all the rest of it, fancy exhaust system on it, yeah, very good look. Yeah, there we go, stainless steel exhaust offering a superb soundtrack. There you go, so a very user-friendly car there, really. So there we go. I've got that 12 there, Will. I got 12,250, 12,500, 12,750. At 12,750, £13,000. At £13,000 bid. At 250, 13,250, 13,250 and 5, 13,500. At 13,500, what a usable car that is. 13,500. At 13,500 bid. At 13,500. At 13,500, then 750. 13,750 at 13,750 bid. At 13,750 bid. At 13,750 for nothing. At 13,750, 14,000, thank you. At £14,000 bid. At 14,250. 14,250, 5, 14,500, at 14,500, at 14,500 then for the little Lotus Elan, at 14,500, we're a bit off but we'll try, we'll make a phone call, at 14,500 then it's going to be provisional, at 14,500 for the first, 14,500 for the second. Are you sure you're all done? Third and last time selling provision at 14,750. Internet snuck in at 14,750 bid. At 14,750 bid. At 14,750 on the internet. They're out, I'm out. 14,750 on the internet then. At 14,750 in Kim Ross. At 14,750. Are you sure you're all done? At 14,750 then. Still provisional, but we'll make a phone call. At 14,750 then for the first, second, third and final time selling provisionally. There we go. It's going to be a good car, that. 897, the Vauxhall Wyvern and Zodiac badges. There you go. Well, if you're missing one, there you go. You better get bidding. Where are we then? Someone start me. £10 bid. £10 bid straight away there. Lincolnshire, thank you at £10. £10 bid then. At £10 bid, are we all done? At £10 bid then. £10, £20 in Newark, £20 in Newark, at 20 and 30 I can sell them, at £30 bid, at £30 bid, even if you just keep them away until you need one, at £30 bid, then if we're all done I'm going to sell them, at £30 bid, then I'm selling for the first, 30 for the second, third and final time at £30, £30, 898, moving on to, the little Sully Tow TCBO, there you go, look, fancy little thing, there we go. I'm sure you've all seen it. Yeah, quite it'd be good to get your name and bits and pieces on the side of that, wouldn't it? And yeah, park it outside your little shop or do what you want with it. Or better still, nip down to the shops. There we go, look, fancy little thing. 1968, it says here, TC8 she is. Yeah, look at that. Where are we then? I got 1,000, 11, 12, £1,200 bid and away at 1,200. That seems cheap. £1,200 bid, 13, £1,300 bid then at 13. £1,300 bid, at £1,300 bid then, funny little thing, at £1,300 bid, 14, at £1,400 bid then at 14, at £1,400 bid, are you sure you're all done? At £1,400 bid then, it's very provisional, at £1,400 bid then, at £1,400 bid, 50, at £1,450, at £1,450, at £1,450 then, at £1,450 bid, at £1,450 bid then, very provisional, we'll make a phone call, at £1,450 then for the first, very provisional for the second, third and final time, £1,450, funny little thing. Oh, 1999 BMW Z3, there we go, look. There we go, Boston green, lovely colour in my opinion. There's a couple of stamps, 4 stamps and 1 written in the book. Various invoices and bits and pieces there, benefiting from several upgrades and can be found on YouTube. Oh, there you go, look, but mainly compromising lowered coil suspension, wider wheels, a fast road camshafts, there you go, some great cams in it. Cobra stainless steel exhaust system and offered with a new MOT. There you go, look, till 2026. Where are we then? We'll ignore that one, please, Will. She's sold from the off. I got 18, 19, 2000, 21, 22, 23. At 2,300, £2,300 bid. At £2,300 bid then for the Z3. At £2,300 bid. 2,300. At 2,300, 42425, 2,005. At £2,500 bid, then selling and away at 25. At 2,500, are we all done? At 2,500, good user for the summer. At 2,500 bid. At 2,500, then I'm selling it for the first, second, third, and final time. 2,500, and last lot of the day. There we go. Look, 8 pairs of overalls and a rain suit. The one you've all been waiting for, save the best till last, as they say. There we go, look. Well, I got £10 to start then for the 8 pairs of overalls. They'll come in handy, won't they? There we go then. £10 bid, £10, £10 and away then at £10. At £10 then, at £10 bid, at £10, £20 bid in Lincolnshire at £20. At £20 bid then, at £20 bid, at £20 bid then. Keep them in the garage, you'll need them. At £20 bid then, at £20 is provisional. I'll make a note. £30 down in Kent at £30. At £30 bid then, are we all done? At 30 we'll make a phone call, I'm sure they'll come. At £30 then for the first, provisionally for the second, third and final time. There we go. We're done, we're done. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. Obviously we'll see you next month. I think it's the 25th, 26th, 27th, if that equates to a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, obviously. So keep your eyes peeled on the website. There'll be a lot of new entries arriving over the forthcoming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled. Thank you for everyone on YouTube. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, everyone on the phones and everyone upstairs. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. There we go. Sorted.